What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be teaching you how to play fast, some kind of techniques and some things that you need to know that are super important to allow you to be super aggressive and not just constantly die. As you guys know, playing aggressive is much more difficult than playing passive, and you will realize that trying to push somebody on a head glitch when they're like locked in with a really like good low recoil assault rifle or LMG, and you have a high recoil SMG that has really high mobility, you're going to be at an incredible disadvantage if you don't know how to properly play. And probably regardless, it's still going to be like very difficult for you to be super elusive, yet be able to hit your shots and be able to beat the players that are camping. So we're gonna jump into that. Let me know, what is your best mobility SMG in Call of Duty Mobile? For me, the Fennec is on top. It's super good. The Bison is really good too, but when I'm playing really aggressive, I like to run the Fennec. Alright, so for tip number one for playing super aggressive is you need to run fast, meaning you need to get to spots quicker than the enemy, which means you can use the karambit, you can use a grenade, you could use a really fast mobility SMG like the QQ9, the QXR, the Fennec, or the Bison. I would recommend all of those. Again, the Fennec's really good. The QQ9 could be really good up close. Using those guns, pulling out a knife, a grenade, anything like that, and getting to spots as fast as possible. So as you guys will see in the video, I am again running very quick with my gun. The thermites seem to be like really slow to run with, so I wouldn't recommend that, but just getting to spots as fast as possible, which goes into tip number two, which is even when you are running, a lot of people, like when they're focusing on playing fast and using mobility, will oftentimes forget to pre-aim, right? Pre-aiming is still super important. When you get around a corner, you want to be ADS first so that all you have to do is shoot. You don't have to aim down your sight and then begin shooting. You just kind of eliminate another step. So every time you peek a corner, just aim down your sights as you're going around the corner, double check, make sure that you are safe. That's like always a really good one. The next tip for when you are playing very aggressive is to use movement. Right now, don't get too caught in each or like a single one of these tips. They're all very important in their own respective way. So again, you want to get to spots as fast as possible, while you also want to pre-aim when you get around those corners where you can expect somebody to be. Tip number three is using, though, good movement is super important. So for example, what I would recommend doing is when you are sprinting, do not sprint in a straight line. I can tell you 100% that is going to be the biggest downside or the biggest mistake that you make, is running straight at like somebody. Always try and kind of serpentine, strafe, etc. Jump, slide, and slide at angles. Don't slide straight and don't slide like straight back. Try and slide to the left or to the right so that they actually have to aim. They don't have to just aim down sight, not move, and just shoot and kill you. You want to make them, force them to flick one way or to the other way. That at least gives you more of an advantage to have a shot against them. As well as when you are peeking, don't just run around a corner. And oftentimes I would say jumping around a corner now is not as good as sliding or just kind of strafing. I'd really recommend either like fast peeking, where you sprint around the corner and then slide, or I feel like I have a sneeze coming on. I do. Maybe not. Oh. You guys hit. Wait, it's there or something. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so yeah, so either sliding around a corner, you could jump peek around a corner, but I wouldn't just sprint around a corner. I don't think that that's very effective. I think you have a really good shot of dying that way. Tip number four is you cannot play afraid. And it's very common to do this. I do this a little bit in the gameplay that you're watching, but I'm telling you guys, as you continue to practice and as you continue to get better, you need to just force fights. You need to go into fights confident. You need to push confident, and that way you are going to learn how to win a lot more gunfights that are really like 80% chance they win, 20% chance you win. Eventually you move those fights closer to like 40-60, anything like that, where a lot of the fights you shouldn't be winning, eventually you start to win. So that's like a super important thing, is just to not really worry about dying. Try and learn from how you die, but just push. You're gonna get a lot more comfortable in a lot more difficult situations. Range gun is going to be prime, right? You don't really want to, even though we'll say like the DRH is good, or the AS Val is good, or the Holger is good, the Chopper is still good. All of those guns are good, definitely. But if you're playing aggressive and you're getting within 10 to 15 feet of somebody, those guns are not as effective as the Bison, as the QQ9, as the Fennec. So I'd recommend using the Fennec, the QQ9, the Bison, maybe the QXR if you want to get super close and personal, but don't use those. Don't use other random guns. It's just not very effective. And the last tip I have for you is you're going to be running out of ammo fairly quick, or you're going to get into situations where you need to reload, but you don't have a good spot. So picking up a second weapon is going to be super crucial to allow you to continue to play super aggressive.
We tied for the lead. We lost the C. UAV online. We've taken the lead. We're capturing C.
Enemy down. Tango down. Target.
Our UAV has been destroyed. Hunter-killer drone deployed. We captured C.
Down.
All positions locked down. Hold your positions. Losing Alpha.